There are things that they're doing consistently for a reason. There's a method to their madness. And again, I know I made a joke about it a little bit earlier, but this is very, very important. I mean, my business page, y'all, is focused on business. My business page is not about, now I do from time to time post stuff about my family and about my kids every once in a while, but it's very rare. My main focus is to make sure that I'm bringing value to people, as far as when it comes to our business. I want people to understand that I'm a coach and a leader, I teach sales and money management and business and all that stuff, versus being disorganized and teaching all kinds of different things. One day I'm not doing a cooking show, and the next day I'm talking about sales, and
Yep.
I'm very, very focused on that. So I've kind of explained this, Gilad, for everybody to understand what I'm doing. But if you were to look at me, or just even to listen, and I want you to criticize me, did I say anything wrong there? And it's okay if I did.
So
And what more could I be doing?
So definitely not post a lot of things that are not related to your messaging. But on the same time, if you're growing a personal brand, you should understand that you are the brand. It might be you doing the personal brand for your business, but after all, people are going to do business with you because of you, not because of your business. Relationships, that's what build the actual business. So it's not like don't post at all things about your personal life. Actually post, and post it consistently, but you got to do it again with a reason, with a strategy. So for example, you're going to post some activities that you're doing with your kids, then you can do it because of like few main reasons. One, family may be one of your core values and beliefs that you believe in, quality family time. So that's your personality, you promote it. Second, you're gonna, let's say you're in the financial industry, and you promote wealth, and you want to show people that if they grow their wealth, they can have more quality time with their families. So you can post your family while showing them that this is the reason you were able to grow wealth, and now you get to enjoy your kids. So you basically have a certain reason to a goal with what you post. So you're not going to just fill out your content with like tons of pictures of your kids. It might be one or two, but you're going to send a message out there. So you kind of show your personality, you show who you are, people engage and relate with it. That's how you create emotional connection with people. But there's always a reason that's going to encourage them eventually to become a customer, a client, a follower, whatever the goal is.
Good stuff, man. You got this down, buddy. You really have it down. Very, very impressed so far, my friend.
Appreciate
Okay,
it.
so tell us a little bit about your story, and how did you get into all this stuff, and how did you end up here?
Okay, for sure. So I guess starting point is me joining the Israeli army. I'm from Israel, like you said. So in Israel, everybody got to serve in the army. So at the age of 19, already studied 2 years becoming a mechanical engineer, and I joined the army. And before I joined, I worked in many different jobs, McDonald's, things like that. And the actual job that I had before the army was sales, and I was really, really good at it. I worked there for about a year and a half, became really good. And when I joined the army, my income was like going really down, because in the army, you're not making a lot of money, literally like around $100-$200 a month. That would actually just pay for whatever you need. Yeah. And the army take care of you, but if you want the extra stuff, you got to work. So I got a course about dropshipping with a partner. And for the next 2 years in the army, on my side hustle, I was just create a business. I didn't know how to speak in English back then, like literally almost nothing. And I didn't know anything about business. So for these 2 years, I was actually learning so much. Like I learned about business, about finances, about cash flow, about e-commerce, about sales. And I did that pretty successfully for 2 years. After 2 years, decided to close this business, decided, hey, I want to learn more about marketing, and I want to start doing more things in the personal development space, because my success on the dropshipping business was literally because I was able to develop myself a lot. I read so much books in the army, took courses, did some deep work with myself, and that's where I started my brand. I did a lot of things in the between the dropshipping to the understanding, obviously, of starting a brand. But then I started awareness of success, and I didn't know anything about branding, about Instagram. So I just started this brand firstly on Facebook, didn't work, moved to Instagram, started to learn how Instagram works. I took all the courses, all the mentors. I spent all my basically hard-earned money from the dropshipping business. I put that into mentors, coaches on Instagram, which later became good friends of mine, business partners, and I just started to get really good results with Instagram. First month I did about 10,000 followers, and then 100,000 followers in 3 months. And I started coaching people on like how to grow their brands. And over the years, I've coached hundreds of people in many different industries. Um, in the business space, in the pet industry, in the fashion industry, in the art, and all this, by the way, while serving in the army. So I was basically doing this as my side hustle. I started getting really good results on Instagram. Started also producing some video content in English. Started a Facebook group, started my brand, and one thing led to the other. I basically started doing more of like an agency work, which is like people at one point I started, getting like high level clients and leads that they told me like, hey, we don't want you to coach us. We don't care. Just do it for us. I'm like, okay, let me do it. So they were willing to pay way more for me to just do things for them. So I was the content creator. I was creating the captions. I was like designing everything, managing, like I did all of that. So I was basically creating, I already had like a 6-figure business while serving in the army. So like after 3.5 years of service, I was able to finish my service with a successful business. When I say successful, I was alone. I didn't have to go and work as a mechanical engineer, like what I was supposed to do. And I started basically growing the business from there. So if you look here, few years, like 2 years to where we are right now, I have a team of 9 people, and we got really narrowed down on helping entrepreneurs grow their brands on Instagram. We have worked with many, many, many clients over the years, and we got really specific and focused on just that. And that's what I've been doing. That's kind of my journey on a little bit.
No, that's great. It's fun to hear the journey, especially in your accent. It's cool because I love the fact that, I mean, you might be one of the farthest podcasts. Now, I do realize you are in Orlando, Florida right now. So, you know, but as far as where you live, I mean, you're probably one of the farthest that I've ever interviewed before. And I
Really?
think it's so, I think it's so cool, that, that while being in the army, because a lot of people make excuses, right? I have a job, I'm working too hard, I have to, and I'm sure you worked a lot of hours in the army, and you
Yeah.
figured out a way to have a side hustle. And I have a lot of people that come into my business on a part-time basis, and a lot of them, they can't focus on having a side hustle and actually producing their regular income. So, is there any tips that you can give people that you used while, on how you did it all? I mean, you were making
Yeah.
$100,000 aside from your job in the army. So, how'd you do
Yeah.
it?
So I definitely have a ton. Like we can talk hours about these topics for sure. In the army, I used to work about at least 12 hours a day. Some days was like even 16. So I was like, I was working a lot. Okay. Now, and I had my nights free. So instead of like sleeping 8 hours, whatever, I would sleep in 6, but I was working 2 hours, or I had my weekends. So I guess my tips are, and the things I did from personal experience is first and foremost is you gotta have a huge desire, because without a desire and to really create some stuff, you're not gonna do it. You're not gonna have the discipline to do it. And second of all is I was in a lot of pain in the army, a lot of pain. I really wanted to change my circumstances. I'm coming from a poor family, and I didn't wanna, just finish the army and go work at some company. I really wanted to create freedom for myself. So I was in a lot of pain, and that's kind of what drove me to create change. So that's the biggest thing. Okay. Now, more than that, I guess is making sacrifices. It's like in the army, there is a lot of social life that I probably missed. Like 80% of it, because I was just working when my friends, did this or did that. Um, Weekends when I went home, like only twice a month, I was working instead of like going out most of the time or even seeing my girlfriend. So I had to make a lot of sacrifices to get this to work. So that's like second thing. You gotta do deep work with yourself, understand what you're willing to sacrifice in order to get things moving, especially if it's a side hustle. Obviously, once I finished my service, I started having a lot more time. So, like right now, I'm traveling, I'm in the US while I still run and manage my business full time. So, obviously, you got to make sacrifices. And third thing I would say is eliminate distractions. This is really, really good. It's really important not to just let's say Netflix is a distraction and you want to go get some work done for the next 1 hour or 2 hours, but Netflix is right there. All you have to do is click on it. So you might be super disciplined and you're not going to click on it. But just this battle in your mind that is telling you, hey, Gilad, don't click on this app right now, is taking a lot of your energy, and you're eventually at one day are going to break and click, and sometimes it will become a habit and you will start drifting and just distract yourself every time you go to work. But what happens is, if you just eliminate the distraction, you delete all these games, the apps, you do that and you just eliminate all the distractions. What happens is, you now can focus very easily.
Thank you for watching our short clips on Alonzo Academy. If you'd like to watch the next short clip, click here. If you'd like to watch the entire podcast, click here.